Hello, my name is Elena Diaconescu and I'm the head of Bromley Adult Education College. It is an absolute pleasure to record this session for you. This is Digital ACE, Quality Assuring the Intent of Digital Curriculum, Marketing, Recruitment, IAG and Induction. A bit of a long title. Please allow me to share a PowerPoint presentation with you. I'm using the same slides I used on the 4th of February. I hope you don't mind that. And of course, I will have to skip some slides. The session today is part of the Digital ACE project. This was done together with HOLEX. And as you know, Digital ACE has been designed to support providers like us in the adult community education settings on this new stage that we are all facing on this technological journey of delivering more and more courses online to help us develop digital capability in such a way that we are enhancing our offer for our learners, keeping them at the heart of the provision, and of course, providing them with high quality teaching, learning, and assessment. The purpose of the session is to share key points on what and how to quality assure to improve effectiveness of intent of digital curriculum, marketing and recruitment done online, IAG and induction. In the real sessions, in the webinars, we've had a case study that shows how one service, that's actually Bromley Adult Education College, how we used our in-house expertise to embed strong quality assurance of marketing, IAG and induction. In the real session, a colleague of mine had a short presentation. In today's recording session, I'm going to do my best to give you a short brief on how we dealt with that. The learner journey is a really good way of keeping in mind what we need when we are quality assuring intent, marketing, IAG and induction. The more we look into how we present information to learners before they start the course, while they are on their studies, and after they have completed their course, the better we are able to analyze the effectiveness of our quality assurance procedures. And of course, there are two things we should never forget: equality, diversity, and inclusion on one side, and safeguarding on the other. In the real sessions, we had a few breakout room activities. In such an activity, we discussed how we quality assure marketing, recruiting learners for digital provision, different new methods of marketing and recruiting that certain providers might have adopted when working under COVID-19 restrictions. And of course, what are the things that we should keep under consideration for us to know how well the quality assurance of marketing and recruitment is working. Now, intent is really important, as you know. We need to make sure that whatever course description we've got on our website, these course descriptions mention who the course is for, why is it needed, what difference will make to individual and local communities, and does it still reflect your provider's mission or the purpose statement? I'm going to share with you a few of the things you should consider when you quality assurance marketing and recruitment. One is reviewing the intent of every online or blended course. How clearly defined is the intended purpose of the course? Who is the intended target group? Are you able to reach that target group properly? What is the intended purpose or additionality of the digital aspect? We are all analyzing recruitment and enrollment data and information. One thing we are doing more and more of is we are checking whether the course has reached the intended target group, especially that more and more of each course is done online. We are checking educational, employment background, learning aims, prior digital experience, and one thing, for example, not to forget to check is, are learners on the appropriate course to enable them to reach their potential and meet their learning goals? The surveys are, of course, a really good way of capturing this type of data. And the surveys can be done online or on the telephone. And the usual type of question should be there. What attracted them to the course? What barriers, if any, did the digital element present? And we mentioned earlier that the quality assuring of equality, diversity, and inclusion should appear there as well. So one thing you could do would be ensure that the data you use to monitor recruitment to your online or blended learning provision does include information that later on will enable you to check how well you are reaching out to your communities. And of course, don't forget to include minority groups when selecting individual learners for interviews or surveys. This way you are able to get a learner's views on their online experience from a diverse group. This would have been the second breakout activity. And I can tell you that you probably saw in other HOLEX webinars, they work really well. In this particular breakout activity on quality assuring IAG and induction, we would have discussed how between different providers, with quality assurance online IAG and induction, whether there is a particular approach that worked really well for one provider or another, how we know whether it's working well, and in our discussion, we really like touching on what we would consider changing going forward and how soon we would envisage those changes to be, for us to be able to implement them. All of us have been forced into adapting and adopting new ways of working under COVID restrictions. And of course, one was adapting ING and induction to online services. I'm going to share with you a few things that you should consider when quality assuring the IAG and induction. Checking that all COVID-19 secure measures are covered in the course descriptions, that of course the COVID restrictions or anything to do with the online lessons in terms of IAG and inductions, that this type of information appears on the website as well. Checking the data on who has completed the online induction against registers, for example. Something that we all seem to be doing, using online observations or tutors' records to check that tutors are reinforcing key messages and key points throughout the course. Sampling online learning works, learning plans, or the equivalent to evaluate how well tutors are gathering that kind of information. Using quality checks or online observations to monitor the quality of information, advice and guidance during student interviews and the agreed actions. Don't forget to add IAG questions to the learner online surveys that all of us seem to be doing as well. And of course, don't forget about equality and diversity. It is really important to ensure that learners are supported to have realistically high expectations and ambitions for their careers and of course for their next steps. And one thing that we are getting better is how well we are challenging unconscious bias. There are quite a few workshops on unconscious bias, and I found that it's really important to have refresher sessions on unconscious bias. How well are you challenging unconscious bias and any assumptions among staff, employers, or any other stakeholders you are working with when considering learners' next steps? The case study involved sharing of sharing of good practice that we have at Bromley Adult Education College. And we wanted to share with our colleagues that we don't have a marketing budget. And for us, what worked really well was to have an in-house marketing working group. It was the same people, senior managers, 4 of us with a different hat. And from one meeting to another, we managed to move completed actions. For example, we now have one person dealing with all the updates on the website. This is done on a weekly basis. And another person dealing with all the updates on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We created videos because we realized that a simple PowerPoint was not enough. So we created videos to help with all online elements. How to enroll, because of course enrollment processes moved online. Online induction to our centers. It was really interesting because the first video on online induction didn't have subtitles. The second time we did it, it did have subtitles. And safety in the online environment. You could find this on the website if you want to have a look. It's Bromley Adult Education College, baec.ac.uk. Another thing that we did was to have a strong mapping between the CPD workshops and the online elements of staying safe online or IAG online. And the last but not least, we've got a specific approach, the so-called IAG in 3 steps. It works well with branding. It does help with our staff and with our learners as well, because by now they know it. We start in September with quality online visits, and we check the IAG and online induction. And then midterm, we have a Google form, a survey sent to staff and learners. And then at the end of the term, we have a deep dive approach. And then we repeat this process in spring and in summer. It doesn't have to be 3 steps again in spring and 3 steps again in summer, but it does help establishing the pattern. This is me getting to the end of this recorded session. I'm going to apologize. I'm not used to recording any sessions. So as you can see, I'm a newbie in this. I hope you do know that all digital ACE materials are on the HOLEX website. It's under publications, and specifically those under quality, those to do with quality assurance are in this link provided in the presentation here. I'm going to say thank you and stay safe, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.